Ladies and gentlemen, City Council and the Mayor of the City of Lawrence. Please remain standing as American Legion Post 25 and the Lawrence School District 55 High School, NJROTC, present the colors and the national anthem. Please welcome to the stage Hunter Holmes, Capitol Theater Director.
All right, good evening, everyone. On behalf of the City of Lawrence, welcome to the 2026 State of the City Address and Awards presentation, right here in the beautiful, historic Capitol Theater in downtown Lawrence. It's a genuine honor to serve as your MC tonight in this landmark venue. Just a few months from now, this theater will celebrate its 100th anniversary. A century of bringing people together through film, music, live performances, and community events just like this one. There's something special about gathering in a place with so much history. I will take this opportunity to make sure you are aware that movies are back at the Capitol on a regular basis. And if you have, yeah, all right. Thank you. Almost always free as well, free admission. Interesting side note, on our 100th anniversary, we'll be showing the first movie that was ever shown here, which is a silent film called Charlie's Aunt, which is just neat that those films still exist and we can show them again. If you haven't already, keep an eye on the marquee and the city's social media about upcoming films and live events taking place here in the heart of downtown Lawrence. Tonight we come together to celebrate the progress our city has made, to recognize outstanding contributions of individuals and organizations that make Lawrence better every day, and to hear directly from Mayor Senn about the state of our city and our community's vision for the future. We are privileged to have with us distinguished guests, including members of our state legislative delegation, Lawrence County government, both elected leaders and county staff, members of our city boards and commissions, Planning Commission, the Historic Preservation Commission, and the Board of Zoning Appeals, community leaders, partners, and so many of you who work hard, often behind the scenes, to make Lawrence a place we're all proud to call home. We'd like to pay special tribute to the service of the members of Lawrence City Council, city staff, and volunteers who serve our city on our city boards and commissions. Your service to our city is vital. We recognize the sacrifices you make to serve the public, and we thank you all for all that you do. Thank you. Before we begin the awards portion of the evening, please let me ask that you silence your phones so we can give our full attention to the honorees and the mayor's address. Each year, we take a moment to shine a light on the dedication, leadership, and community spirit that drives Lawrence forward. Tonight, we are proud to present 4 special awards: the Volunteer of the Year Award, the Corporate Citizen Award, the Servant Leader Award, and the Community Spirit Award. We reached out to city staff, members of City Council, and to the public to ask for your nominations. These awards honor the people and organizations whose selfless efforts strengthen our community, not just the city, and inspire the rest of us. So without further delay, let's get started with our first award of the evening, the Volunteer of the Year Award. This award recognizes an individual whose selfless dedication and volunteer efforts have significantly benefited the Lawrence community. The Volunteers of the Year Award goes to Randy and Carol Davis. Randy, yeah. Randy and Carol Davis are dedicated community members and the owners of Sycamore Landscape Design, where they have combined their passion for landscaping with a deep commitment to serving others. When Backstreet Park was built in 2020, Randy and Carol volunteered their tremendous expertise and experience in landscape design to create a beautiful and even educational park at no cost to the taxpayer. But their service didn't end with that initial design work. For nearly the last 6 years, they have assisted the city with maintaining the park, simply as a labor of love, public service, and stewardship. By sharing their time and talents, they have helped to create a welcoming space for all to enjoy. Their efforts reflect a genuine desire to make Laurens a better place, and their quiet dedication has made a lasting impact on countless individuals and organizations. Please join me in congratulating Randy and Carol Davis, our Volunteers of the Year. All right. The Corporate Citizen Award honors a business that has demonstrated outstanding commitment to the economic vitality and well-being of Laurens through community engagement and support. The Corporate Citizen Award goes to Martha Franks Retirement Community. Sorry, I keep forgetting to clap. Martha Franks Retirement Community has long been a cornerstone of care and compassion in Laurens, providing a supportive and enriching environment for seniors while also making a meaningful impact throughout the broader community. Beyond the services they offer to their own residents, their team consistently demonstrates a strong commitment to Laurens through community involvement, outreach efforts, and support for local programs. Anytime we have a community event or programming involving other organizations, it can be quite a task for city staff to reach out to our partners and gauge their interest. On the other hand, Martha Franks has reached out to us, expressing their desire to be more and more involved in the life of our community. They have become a reliable partner, and we love seeing the representation of the diversity of our community when Martha Franks senior residents participate in our events. Whether partnering with organizations, opening their doors for community events, or contributing time and resources where they are needed most, Martha Franks continues to show what it means to be a true community partner. Please join me in congratulating and thanking Martha Franks Retirement Community for their exemplary corporate citizenship. The Servant Leader Award celebrates an individual who leads with a servant's heart, dedicating their time and resources to uplift others in the community. The Servant Leader Award goes to Catherine Meadows. There she is. Catherine Meadows serves the Laurens community through her work with Laurens County First Steps, where she supports young children and families by providing resources, guidance, and encouragement. Beyond her professional role, Catherine has become a steady and compassionate presence in the community, volunteering alongside the Laurens County Sheriff's Office and stepping in wherever there is a need. She is deeply committed to serving others, whether through community outreach, organizing support for families, or strengthening local initiatives that uplift those around her. Her humility, consistency, and genuine care for people has made a lasting difference in the lives of many individuals and families in Laurens. Please join me in honoring Catherine Meadows for her servant leadership. The Community Spirit Award acknowledges individuals who embody the spirit of community through their positivity, volunteerism, and active support of our city. The Community Spirit Award goes to Diane Smith, owner of Designs by D and Friends. All right. In my mind, Miss Diane is also the unofficial mayor of the south side of the square. As a dedicated business owner on Main Street, Diane has created a welcoming space that brings together floral design, event planning services, and a vendor mall featuring over 25 local vendors. Through her work with custom weddings, events, decor, and memorial flowers, she not only helps create meaningful moments and memories, but also supports and uplifts fellow small businesses, reflecting her strong commitment to our community. In addition, Diane plays an active role on the board of Main Street Laurens, where she also assists with coordinating efforts and organizing the Laurens Farmers Market, helping create opportunities for the community to come together and support local agriculture and small businesses, adding to the fun and variety of experiences offered here in Laurens. She is also the driving force behind Laurens' unofficial mascot, Lawrence the Laurens Squirrel. Let's applaud Diane Smith for her creativity, positivity, determined leadership, and outstanding community spirit. The dedication and passion of individuals and businesses like those we've honored tonight are what make Laurens a remarkable place to live and work. Your contributions strengthen our community fabric and inspire us all. Now it is a real privilege for me to welcome someone who represents the very best of municipal leadership in South Carolina, the mayor of Travelers Rest, the Honorable Brandy Amidon. Mayor Amidon has built a reputation across the state as a thoughtful, effective, and deeply grounded public servant. A proud graduate of Travelers Rest High School, she made history as the first woman and youngest person ever elected mayor of her city. Her service did not begin with the mayor's office. She first served 8 years on city council before being elected mayor in 2018, and she is now serving her third term. In addition to her local leadership, she currently serves as president of the Municipal Association of South Carolina, a role that reflects the confidence that municipal leaders from across the state have placed in her judgment, character, and vision. She has served on the Municipal Association's board since 2020 and completed both the Municipal Elected Officials Institute of Government and the Advanced MEO Institute, underscoring her serious commitment to strong, informed public leadership. What sets Mayor Amidon apart is that she has paired that statewide leadership with real results at home. In Travelers Rest, she has helped lead with a clear focus on smart growth, fiscal stewardship, and partnership-driven progress. Under her leadership, Travelers Rest has continued shaping growth rather than merely reacting to it. Travelers Rest has also become a model for how quality of life investments can reinforce economic vitality and civic identity. City and community leaders have been intentional about building on the success of the Swamp Rabbit Trail, creating pocket parks, strengthening the outdoor character of downtown, and making the city more welcoming to residents and visitors alike. But just as important as the projects themselves is the kind of leadership behind them. Mayor Amidon has spoken about listening to people, preserving what residents love about their community, and keeping public service rooted in betterment rather than ego. That approach has earned her respect not only in Travelers Rest, but across South Carolina. When she was elected president of the Municipal Association, the association noted both her years of service and the way she spent her time listening to mayors across the state to understand their concerns, challenges, and hopes for their communities. Tonight, we are honored to have with us a mayor who has helped her own city thrive and who has become a respected voice for municipalities across South Carolina. Please join me in warmly welcoming the mayor of Travelers Rest and president of the board of the Municipal Association of South Carolina, Mayor Brandy Amidon.
Well, thank you so much. I was going to be a little disappointed if I didn't get some of the dramatic music, so well done. Thank you for that. Good evening, Laurens. I am so excited to be here. I am confident that your first question is, you may be thinking, what in the world is the mayor of Travelers Rest doing here? It took me an hour to drive here, people. I can get to North Carolina in 20 minutes, so this is dedication for me being here. But I really couldn't pass up the opportunity to come to Laurens and introduce my friend and your mayor. But if I was busy tonight and you couldn't have found a backup, because I didn't want to drive this far, you'd have to ask and do what all of us do nowadays when we have a problem that we have to solve. You ask ChatGPT, and you would have had to ask ChatGPT to introduce your mayor instead of me, and it would probably say something like, Nathan is a Laurens native through and through. He grew up on his family farm just north of town, a farm that has been in the Sin family since 1890. After graduating from high school there, he earned degrees from Clemson University and Charleston School of Law. In the years since, he has built a successful career. For the past 10 years, he has practiced law in his hometown, where he is now the managing attorney of Laurens' Office of Guest and Brady. In addition to his service as mayor, he serves on the board of trustees of Presbyterian College, where he previously taught business law. So ChatGPT is basically saying that you guys have a smarty as your mayor, but since I was free and asked to introduce Mayor Sin tonight, I will say that Nathan is first and foremost my friend. I can't see him, but he's somewhere out there. But Nathan is my friend. Making true friends when you sign up for this whole political world, even in a small town, is kind of rare. No one truly knows how hard it is to serve in this very public-facing role until they walked in these shoes. And I've gotten to watch Mayor Sin over the years prove himself as your mayor. Nathan and I served on the board of the Municipal Association together. Nathan earned the respect from other mayors across South Carolina when he was elected to serve as president of the Association of South Carolina Mayors, which is a hard feat because us mayors have high expectations of other mayors. So I've seen him in action. But where I really get to see how much Nathan cares about the city of Laurens is when a group of us young mayors get together in the upstate and we just get together to support one another, share ideas about how to tackle challenges in our cities that a lot of us grew up in and now serve, where we have similar challenges, similar constraints, but where all of us just really want to see good things happen for our city. And through those conversations, I've come to know Nathan. He's pretty funny, he's principled, he's thoughtful, and he's a deeply committed leader who truly believes that local government is about stewardship. He really loves Laurens. He's proud of his hometown. I know he's proud of you guys tonight that are winning sword. I'm proud of you, and I don't even know you, so I know he's super proud as mayor. His passion for the potential of your city shines through in every conversation as he figures out how best to serve you all. So while Nathan is my friend and I love hanging out with him, I'm also quite jealous of Nathan and the city of Laurens. With your mayor and your council leading the way, Laurens has experienced a real renewal. You can see it in the thoughtful restoration of buildings in this town. I'm so jealous of this theater right now. I can barely stand it. I want one in Travelers Rest, and I'm putting it on my vision board tomorrow, see if we can get one. But you guys can see it in the renewed attention to public safety, the smart planning that protects neighborhoods and residents, while also preparing for responsible growth that almost every city in South Carolina is experiencing. And you can see it in the big investments that you guys have made in your parks, your recreation, and the arts, in the very places that bring people together and give Laurens life and identity, which is all about building pride for the place that you call home. And that kind of transformation starts with leaders like you guys who truly understand what it means to serve and take action. So with that introduction, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct pleasure to present to you my friend and fellow mayor of one of the coolest cities in South Carolina, Mayor Nathan Senn.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Little house on the prairie this year after Mr. Rogers last year. I like it. Good evening, everyone. It is such a pleasure to have you here with us here in Lawrence. As I was listening to all the wonderful things that are going on with our award winners and all the wonderful ways that you serve our community, I feel incredibly fortunate to be able to be on your team, to be one small part of what makes Lawrence such a special place. And it does a mayor's heart good to hear another mayor say they're jealous of Lawrence. I want to first begin by thanking my colleagues on City Council. I want to begin by thanking the community leaders that we have gathered here with us tonight. All of you who contribute to Lawrence, thank you for coming and thank you for all that you do throughout the year. Not long ago, I stood on a corner in our city that for years had sat empty and vacant. What is now Backstreet Park was once just a neglected lot at a busy intersection of two U.S. highways. Prior to 2020, a derelict building had been demolished there. Cars passed it, people passed it, life passed it by. That vacant ground said nothing about the people who once built and worked and struggled and persevered on that site. It said nothing about the black-owned businesses that once lined what was known as Backstreet. Businesses that put food on dinner tables, created opportunity, and represented pride and dignity during a time when the law often denied both. And that silence, in and of itself, was a message. Because a city is always speaking. A neglected lot speaks. A dangerous intersection speaks. A vacant storefront speaks. On the other hand, a well-kept park speaks. A restored building speaks. A safe, walkable neighborhood speaks. The question is not whether this city is saying something. The question is, what is it saying? And that's where I want to begin tonight. What are we saying? I believe a State of the City address shouldn't be an exercise in self-congratulation. Yes, we are happy to celebrate and share the accomplishments of the past year, but this address should be an accounting. Did we do what we said we'd do? Did we wisely use what had been entrusted to us? Did we leave Lawrence stronger and more orderly and more beautiful and better prepared for the future than we found it? Tonight, I am pleased to report that the state of the city of Lawrence is blessed. Not because the work is finished, but because this city is more capable, better coordinated, better prepared than it was even just a few short months ago. Promises were made, and working together, they have been kept. We are managing our challenges with tools and plans that have taken years to build. And because of the diligent work of so many of you here tonight, I am incredibly optimistic about the potential of our city. And perhaps most importantly, we're blessed because Lawrence has not lost its small town soul, even as we have grown and prepared for the future. Following one of my very first city council meetings back in 2019, a member of the press and I were discussing the need to find a healthy balance between sharing the positive things that are happening here and the need to avoid boosterism, sugarcoating our circumstances and ignoring our challenges. And that conversation has stuck with me. So I think it's important tonight to be honest about the reality of our present circumstances. Many of our residents and businesses are under strain. Families are feeling immense pressure. Costs are high. Housing is hard to find, and if you can find it, it can be even harder to afford. There are questions about how to put food on the table and fill up the tank, much less larger questions about our school facilities and the accessibility of grocery stores. The future can feel uncertain, and I think anybody who speaks honestly to the public ought to admit that. These aren't problems that are unique to Laurens, but Laurens is not immune from these challenges. If you are feeling those pressures tonight, I want you to know that I see you, I hear you, and while the city has bright prospects for the future, we still understand that there are some in our city who have not experienced the prosperity that others have. And we are all paying higher prices these days, including city government. There's also a tendency of elected officials to talk as though government can fix everything. It cannot. A city government cannot solve every economic problem, every family problem, every cultural problem, every social problem, or every private hardship. That's true of every government, but it's especially true of this government. While we rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep, the limits of our city finances do not allow us to do all that we are asked to do sometimes, or even all that we would aspire to do. But what does fall within the city's responsibilities must be done well. It must be done competently. It must be done impartially. And it must be done with a sense of stewardship for the future. That is the great governing conviction of this administration. We do not own this city. We hold it in trust. For a little while, we're permitted to make decisions that will affect whether future generations inherit a city that is stronger or weaker, cleaner or dirtier, safer or more dangerous, more beautiful or more neglected. And that is not a small responsibility. If I had to summarize our work recently, I would say this: Laurens is taking stewardship seriously. During the past few years, when we've gathered together for this annual event, we've tried to make our priorities clear. We said public safety had to remain central. We said growth had to be shaped by good planning, not merely accepted. We said those plans and our city standards needed to be defended. We said that quality of life was not a luxury. And we said that government itself had to become more competent, more efficient, and better prepared for the unexpected. We said those things. Now let me tell you a few of the things that have happened. Our police department is actively, visibly engaged in the ordinary but essential work that keeps a city functioning in an orderly and safe way. In any given week, our officers respond to nearly 400 calls for service. In just that deserves a round of applause. In just the recent weeks, they've made arrests tied to arson, theft, drugs, domestic incidents, and violent crime. They helped recover a missing toddler safely. They've used tools like our flock cameras to solve serious cases. And while high-profile cases may receive the most public attention, the day-to-day presence of targeted patrols in neighborhoods where visibility and enforcement were most needed is improving the safety of our city, one street at a time. Traffic enforcement has also remained a real point of focus, and that matters. When people speed through neighborhoods, ignore stop signs, or drive recklessly near homes, schools, parks, and businesses, they're not just breaking the rules. They're disturbing the peace and safety of the lives of the residents of our community. Every citizen of Lawrence should hear this clearly. Protecting the peace and quiet of our neighborhoods is one of my top priorities. Our police are stepping up enforcement, and when our officers conduct traffic enforcement, it's not trivial. They're protecting the public where it matters most, in the places where they live. Likewise, we do not believe that any residential neighborhood in this city should be disturbed by the sound of gunshots, lawful or unlawful. For that reason, I am pleased to announce tonight that we are working to find a replacement for the shooting range currently used by the police department on the southern edge of our city. Facilities like this are essential for our officers' certification and training, but part of good planning means putting the right thing in the right place. I look forward to working with council to improve the quality of life for our residents on the south side of town by making this change. The fire department has also made incredible improvements in the past year. Our fire department is responding to the highest number of calls we have ever seen in the history of the city. 539 calls in the first 3 months of 2026. To put that in context, in the year 2019, our fire department responded to 961 calls annually. The department is also responding to structure fires, saving homes and businesses of Lawrence from destruction. But while they're doing that, they're also responding to EMS calls and assisting other emergency agencies with incidents, all while continuing apparatus testing, performing in-house repairs on our equipment, and staying on top of required training. They are busy, busy, busy. Those repairs and in-house maintenance performed by our staff is worth noting. The skill and dedication and experience of our firefighters, not just in firefighting, but in mechanics, and our fire chief in particular, I have to give him credit, has saved this city thousands and thousands of dollars in just the past year. And we are grateful for the fire department's resourceful management of the equipment that has been entrusted to them by the taxpayers. Thank you. And speaking of equipment, we are pleased that our new Pierce fire truck, Engine 1, will soon be delivered to our fire department. I also want to take this moment to thank my colleagues on City Council for coming together to ensure that we were able to get this important firefighting apparatus. We were able to finalize the closing on financing for this truck this past week, and we look forward to putting it into service. By the way, you are all invited to the dedication on May 4th. May the 4th be with you. It will be a very special event, and we really hope the entire community will come together to celebrate the arrival of this new truck. That truck isn't just a vehicle. It is a promise kept to firefighters who are willing to run into danger when the rest of us are running away from it. Just as importantly, Lawrence has continued to maintain the high standard of fire coverage that our people rely on. Maintaining a high ISO rating is not just a participation trophy. On a practical level, it's evidence of readiness. It's evidence that this city takes its obligation to provide fire protection seriously. And because we have maintained that priority and made the strategic investments that ensure our readiness, every citizen of this city and our surrounding service area pays lower insurance than many of our neighbors. That's something to be excited about too. At the same time, we're not blind to our challenges. As with all city employees, but especially first responders, we continue to operate in a highly competitive regional environment to retain and recruit police officers and firefighters. When surrounding jurisdictions offer higher compensation, we feel that pressure directly. We've worked hard to remain competitive, and as we look forward to the next budget, if we want a strong city, we must be willing to confront the reality that strong public safety depends on strong staffing, and strong staffing depends in part on whether we're competitive in that marketplace. The need to maintain public safety is mission critical. It means that when you call, somebody comes to respond to it. And when they respond, it means the dangerous situation must be met by trained people with the right tools. It means disorder is challenged before it becomes decline. It means law-abiding people can and should have confidence that City Hall still believes in order. We can't be everywhere all the time, and we need the public's help in raising concerns constructively and directly when issues arise, not in the Facebook comment section. But we're committed to working together to build a safe and healthy and orderly and beautiful city. Part of that commitment lies in just taking care of the nuts and bolts of local government. So when we said that government itself had to become better and more ordered and more competent and more resilient, that means continually evaluating and improving even the less glamorous parts of government, the parts that often matter more than the progress that you might read about in the media or see online. Sometimes that just means ensuring dependability and consistency. Our Streets and Sanitation Department is focused on doing just that. I am proud to report that since the reinstitution of the city's own solid waste service just a couple years ago, the quality of waste collection available to our residents has improved dramatically. No longer are entire streets being missed because drivers didn't know our city. No longer is staff spending hours each day fielding complaints from frustrated residents. And no longer are we wasting thousands of taxpayer dollars a month in postage just to send out bills. Instead, through the often thankless work of our streets and sanitation employees, routes are being completed, equipment is being repaired, and the job is getting done dependably. At the same time, we are focused on strategic improvements. Our administrative team, our Streets and Sanitation Director, Kerwin Tribble, and the Lawrence County Transportation Commission have been working together to better coordinate the resurfacing of city streets. Let me make this abundantly clear. If there is funding available to help us improve city-owned streets, we will not leave it on the table. We're prioritizing sidewalk cleaning and sign repair and replacement, and a citywide street assessment has already been completed. And I want to thank Kerwin Tribble for his work in getting that done. Thank you. These things may sound ordinary, and they are, but ordinary competence is one of the most important things that local government can provide. A good city government picks up the trash. It clears the sidewalks. And it does these things consistently enough that people can trust the system. The same is true of planning and permitting and internal systems. Now, there were naysayers, those who love to predict failure, who misled the public about our new land use ordinance and issued dire warnings on social media about Lauren's future. Well, let me take this opportunity to set the record straight. Developer inquiries are steadily coming into our building and planning department. Interest in the city of Laurens is stronger than ever and growing stronger. And thankfully, we've been able to avoid some of the worst proposed projects that we would have struggled to handle before our new standards were adopted. And that is success worth celebrating. Now, instead of uncertainty, our staff is able to sit down with those interested in investing in Laurens, and prior to any money being spent on costly plans destined to go nowhere, we're able to answer questions, provide clarity, and set expectations clearly. This approach saves time and money and makes Laurens a better place to invest. Ultimately, the public can have assurance that Laurens has better tools in place to avoid sprawl and overdevelopment. Neighborhoods are the building blocks of our city. And neighborhood design and the ability of homes to fit in the existing fabric of our city matters. If you build one bad commercial building, and I'm not suggesting that we do that, but if you were to build one bad commercial building, in the world in which we live, that building may be torn down after a few decades. But contrast that with a neighborhood. When neighborhoods are constructed, houses are sold, homes are owned by hundreds of residents in any given area, and the mistakes and poor decisions of today can linger with us for a century or more. Growth without standards is not success. If a place grows carelessly, it may get bigger without getting better. It may gain rooftops, but lose its identity and character. And we've all seen that happen. We have heard loud and clear from our residents that this is not the future they want for Laurens, and neither do I. We need growth. We need new housing. We need investment. We need responsible redevelopment. And I'm happy to say that after decades of stagnation, Laurens is growing again. According to the census, our city is finally moving back toward, and may now have exceeded, actually, the population levels we last saw in the early 80s. But we're determined that this growth will fit Laurens. Laurens must maintain its small town charm while offering modern services and modern standards. Insisting on preserving the character of our city is not some anti-growth nostalgia. That strategic clarity about who we are and what sets us apart. I'm so proud when I travel around this state to see that Laurens still retains what so many of our neighbors have already lost or never had. I'm so proud that Laurens is now recognized across our state as a leader in this effort to plan well. And the people of this city can take tremendous pride in the proactive approach that we have taken to grow and preserve our city. We have the tools. And now we have to elect and appoint leaders to our boards and commissions who understand the tools and understand the difference between strategy and nostalgia. Code enforcement has also been moving from virtual non-existence toward being an effective tool to improve our community. Violations are being addressed by warnings and, if necessary, fines. But I also want to make this clear. Our goal is not tickets or fines for fines' sake. We're not going to balance the city budget on code enforcement fines. We're simply seeking for everyone to do their part to help maintain a safe, beautiful city, to respect their neighbors. We recognize that there can be problems which prevent someone from complying with the law, whether it be physical challenges, mental health difficulties, family matters, or simply a lack of resources. In those instances, we will do our best to treat others the way we would want to be treated. And we'll work with them to find a solution. But where there is a willful disregard for the law, we believe that there must be an expectation that there should and will be consequences. The Clean Up Crackdown initiative reflects a principle I believe in strongly. A city government that fails to enforce standards is not being kind. It's being unfair. Here's what I mean by that. It's unfair to the homeowner who keeps his property up. It's unfair to the landlord who does follow the rules. It's unfair to the small businesses who do obtain the proper permits. And it's unfair to the neighbor who shouldn't have to live next to chronic neglect. If City Hall tolerates neglect, neglect spreads. If City Hall tolerates poor maintenance and blight and indifference, then it should not be surprised when the public loses confidence that anyone is minding the store. I ran for this office in large part because I don't believe in that kind of government. Because I saw that City Hall had tolerated neglect and disorder and blight for decades. And problems that take decades to create are not solved overnight. But I believe city government ought to enforce standards because those standards defend decent, law-abiding, responsible people who make this town the special place that it is. And when the efforts of city government are paired with energy and faith in our potential and the dedication of people like Tony Bailey and Robert Stutz, Doug Clark with Manus Homes, people who have taken long neglected homes, historic homes which stood on the brink of demolition and brought them back to life, we can welcome new residents and visitors to our town. We thank these individuals and all those, including some of you here tonight, who have invested your time and money to save and restore the beauty of our town. That includes, I might add, Tony and Brian Abel, who through their generosity were able to restore the River Tracks mural along Little River to its former glory, a special mural that was painted by Skip Shelton. They're here tonight, and we thank them for their generosity. We've also continued to strengthen quality of life in Laurens because parks, recreation, arts, and culture are not luxuries. They're part of what makes a city livable and attractive and competitive. Our Parks and Recreation Department has been busy hosting successful tournaments throughout the year, and I'm happy to report that participation in our youth sports programs have now rebounded to pre-COVID levels. Now, work is underway for the most significant improvement to our park system in the last 20 years. Last year, I announced that we would be forming a task force to consider our needs and plans for trails and outdoor recreation. As a result of that effort, the City of Laurens applied for an impact grant from the Municipal Association of South Carolina. Unfortunately, we didn't receive that grant award. But we weren't deterred. That didn't stop us. Working together with Laurens County, the City of Laurens has purchased and is now installing new playground equipment at Little River Park. Equipment which is ADA compliant to ensure that children with all different abilities can have a place to play. This set replaces equipment which was more than 20 years old. We were able to do this with funds which were already budgeted, and thanks to the assistance and collaboration of Andy Howard and the Laurens County Parks and Recreation Department, and through the outstanding work of our city staff, this important project is moving forward. But that new playground equipment is just one of the improvements taking place at our city's most popular non-athletics park. On Earth Day, our city team will lead by example, getting together to clean up the landscaping in that park. Diseased and dead trees will be removed, and more improvements will be implemented over the coming months. Sometimes you got to wait on the timing of Mother Nature. New natural landscaping featuring native species and wildflowers will reduce the demand on city maintenance staff and improve the beauty of this park. Additionally, the existing bathrooms and office and concessions area will be receiving much needed upgrades, including some additional security measures aimed at reducing the likelihood of vandalism. And finally, the thing that I may be most excited about, we'll be making free public Wi-Fi available at that park for everyone. This is just one small way we can add to the experience and quality of life of the people using this park. But we're not stopping there. We are assessing the needs and planning improvements to all of our neighborhood parks in the coming year. And I've challenged our Parks and Recreation team that no park should be left untouched. And while we're on the subject of the Parks and Recreation Department, I want to note one thing. In just this past year, this one department has suffered the loss of 3 of its employees. It can be difficult to maintain the operations of a small city government department with the loss of just one staff member for any reason. But to lose 3 staff members and to have each of those 3 pass away has posed more than just a logistics problem. It has brought grief to us all, and particularly the members of the Parks and Rec team. We remember those whom we have lost, we grieve with their loved ones, and we appreciate the dedication of those who have carried on the work of their department each day. Thank you. But it is important work. We're called to care for the least of these. And sometimes, I believe that means ensuring that all have a place to find rest, a place of peace and beauty. This may not be something that many of us here have to worry about because we're blessed. But there are some in our city who, because of finances or health challenges or obligations or any number of other reasons, do not have the ability to go and see the great landmarks of our nation. They cannot visit the giant sequoias in the west or feel the spray of Niagara Falls. The only place they may ever be able to experience natural beauty may be right here in Laurens. Where will they go? We owe it to them, and we owe it to the next generation to preserve and build those spaces where they can enjoy the beauty of our city. This is not some high-minded ideal. It's also common sense economic development. Communities that invest in parks and trails and gathering places become more attractive to potential residents and visitors and investors alike. Just ask my friend Brandy. Quality of life matters, not only because it makes life better, but because it improves the value of every homeowner's property. It encourages private investment, and it strengthens the city's finances. But I am proud to say that through the community partnerships that we have worked hard to build and the work of so many volunteers, we are being intentional about preserving and building places for exercise and rest and peace and beauty in this city. Tonight, we're privileged to gather in this historic theater, which was gifted to the city, renovated with grant funds, and has utility paid by its tenant. It's unlike any other facility owned by any other small town in the state of South Carolina. And I am pleased to report with Hunter that once again the Capitol Theater is showing movies on a regular basis. Through the work of Hunter Holmes and so many others, this space has progressed from restoration and unrealized potential to a space which is in regular use by the public, with film programming, live events, concert rentals, and coming this October, the Laurens Film Festival. This June, we also get to watch Charlie's Aunt and celebrate the Capitol Theater's 100th birthday. And yes, you are all invited. These things matter not simply because they entertain. They matter because they help shape the experience of life here in Laurens. They keep us competitive and attractive, and they become part of our strategic advantage. A city without gathering places, without things to do and see, without beauty, without spaces that draw people together, is a city that teaches people not to expect much from their town. And I believe in many ways that was the city that we had allowed ourselves to become. If you wanted to go out to eat, if you wanted something to do, you had to go somewhere else to do it. No more. Together, we have brought Laurens back, and we can say with pride, as we do like to say around here, Laurens is open for business. Now, as we assess what's been done and what lies ahead, I want to step back and consider the larger idea that ties all of this together. And it's an idea that goes back a long way, very long way. Even as we celebrate our nation's 250th year and the birth of our democracy, it's worth remembering a much older democracy. In ancient Athens, 2,400 years ago, citizenship was not understood as passive. It carried duty. Young men coming into adulthood took an oath. It's called the Ephebic Oath, that included a commitment to leave the city not less, but greater than they had found it. And I believe that idea still matters. This city is not ours to consume, to cheapen, or to hand forward diminished by laziness, or vanity, or personal ambition, or short-term thinking. We are called to leave it stronger and sounder and more beautiful than we received it. And that's why tonight is not about the mayor. Let me say something that you don't often hear from elected officials. I will not seek any other elected office. It has been the honor of my life to serve as your mayor. And I will do my best to be a faithful steward of this city for as long as I'm entrusted with that responsibility. And I would hope that all of us, elected officials, city staff, board members, civic leaders, and citizens alike, would approach Laurens with that spirit. Not what can I get out of this place, but what will I leave behind? That question applies to budgets. It applies to planning, to parks, to buildings, to neighborhoods, to every decision that we make. Which brings me back to Back Street. During segregation, black-owned businesses in Laurens were pushed off the square into that area known as Back Street. But those businesses weren't marginal in importance, especially to the families they supported. They created opportunity. They represented dignity and ownership and persistence. They were a vital part of the life of this city. And then after integration and over time, many of those businesses declined, and the buildings were demolished, and their memory faded from our landscape. What was left was a vacant lot at a critical corner. What we build sends a message about what we value. So we made a choice not to treat that space as neutral. We asked, what should this place say? It presented an opportunity to honor people whose story had not been told. So we created Back Street Park. We made a place of beauty and repose. We created a welcoming entrance to our downtown. We made a place that was safe so mamas didn't have to worry about their kids running into the U.S. highway. We were blessed with the design for beautiful landscaping. But then, with the input of our community, we documented the names of the businesses and the proprietors who had once been there and cast them into bronze. We showed that we are a city which values the contributions of all its citizens. That project matters not merely because it is attractive, though it is attractive. It matters because it expresses this principle. Our decisions matter. The same principle can explain how we ought to think about growth, reinvestment, and the future of Laurens. Economic development isn't just about ribbon cuttings. It's the creation of the future of this city through the daily decisions that each of us makes, carrying out the duties to our city, whether we work for the city of Laurens or not. Bit by bit, decision by decision, we keep building. And we have to keep making decisions that build Laurens in the right direction. We must pursue long-term stormwater solutions, not temporary fixes. We must modernize the technology platforms and tools that support permitting and planning and codes and law enforcement in our municipal court. We must continue pressing SCDOT for long-term traffic planning and assistance with some critical street repairs, particularly Fleming Street. We must be realistic but diligent about code enforcement and the cleanup of derelict lots and structures. We must continue investing in parks and trails and recreation and cultural life. And we must continue strengthening public safety, staffing, equipment, and readiness. Above all, we must plan for growth wisely, with a disciplined housing strategy, long-range capital planning, and a clear commitment to protecting the character of our neighborhoods while preparing for the future. That's the work before us. And the budget that we will present to City Council will reflect those priorities. While we've celebrated successes tonight, the work is not finished. It will not be finished next year or even during my administration. It will not be finished by the members who currently serve on City Council. It will not be finished by this generation. The building of a city is never finished. It's handed forward. The real question before us is not what we have achieved during the 2 terms of the Sand administration. The real question is whether we're handing it forward in better condition. I believe we are. We're growing again. We're safer than before. We're more orderly than we were. We're better managed than before. We're more honest about our challenges than before. We're more disciplined about growth than before. We're more attentive to memory and place and beauty than before. And we're better prepared for the future than before. But the progress we've started is not guaranteed. We must all continually commit ourselves to leaving the next generation a city that is better than the one we received. That's our duty. Our state motto is Dum Spiro Spero. While I breathe, I hope. And because we hope, we build the future with care. And because we build the future with care, we humbly pray that those who will come after us will say that in our time, Laurens was well tended. The state of the city of Laurens is strong. And with God's grace and collaborative and cooperative government, and with the continued effort of people who believe this place is worth tending, it will be even stronger. Thank you, and may God bless the city of Laurens.
Thank you for attending the 2026 State of the City. Please make your way to the reception area. Award winners, please make your way to the stage for photos.